Let's chat through this month's faves and flops. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Celesta. We talk about all things luxury shopping and handbags. If you love those things, make sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification. I do post videos twice a week. So I wanted to do something a little bit different. I usually do like a favorites video at the end of the year, but honestly, I feel like there's so many products that I end up trying, or just so many things in general that end up happening even like each month or each quarter. So I wanted to do faves and flops. We're gonna be very honest here. We're gonna talk about what worked out, what we didn't like in all categories. So let's just jump right into it. In terms of bags, the one I use the most is the Verified shoulder bag. This is in the patent red. You guys have heard me talk about this more recently in a couple videos, and I absolutely love this bag. It is hard to get in and out of, and I've talked about this, but I feel like it just gives like, it's kind of an intro to fall. I usually don't wear red, but I feel like because it's September, like mentally, I'm like, okay, it's time to start dressing for fall. It's time to start doing like fall clothing. But unfortunately, where we live, it's still like 90 degrees. So I want to dress more fall. And I feel like this has kind of been my way to like ease into that. But unfortunately, the weather said no. So absolutely love this. This does fit quite a bit. I'm able to put my camera in here, the one that I'm filming on right now, card holder, phone, more than the essentials, more than I usually need to bring, all fit in here. It stays over your shoulder. It doesn't fall off. Like, what more can you ask for? The next bag that's really turned into my everyday bag, that I don't really have an everyday bag, because after I use each bag, I take everything out and I put it back on the shelf. And so I feel like I don't really have an everyday bag. But this one, I feel like I consistently reach for, just because it fits everything I need. It's lightweight, it matches most outfits, and I love it. I do tend to use this bag a little bit more for like warmer weather, warmer outfits, just because if I wear a thicker sweater, it doesn't really fit over my shoulder very well, which I've kind of talked about before as well. But yeah, that's probably my two most used bags this month. To be honest, I didn't leave my house very often, so we only have two this month. Next, we have to talk about clothes. I ordered a couple things. They're still in transit, so I can't exactly review them yet, but like honestly, in terms of favorites, there's nothing that really speaks out to me. I ordered a couple things off of Amazon and Princess Polly, and they're being returned. It just like didn't work out for one reason or another, and so I really don't have any new clothing favorites. I also feel like in general, I've been shopping a lot less, which I'll kind of get into that when we talk about the flops, but yeah, clothing, not much really sticks out. And then moving over to beauty though, we do have a couple things that do stand out, because I feel like I tried a lot of new products this month, or I've just grown to love a lot of new products that I haven't really talked about. Starting with the Living Proof Volumizing Spray. This is pretty good for volumizing. I would give this probably like a 7 out of 10 for volumizing, but what really stands out to me is the smell. It smells so good. I can't even describe it, and I obviously they don't have like a perfume version of this, but I almost think of this as like a hair perfume, because it smells so good. And I actually discovered that I had a volumizing spray in my closet after watching Bretman's hair tutorial on getting more volume at the top. I didn't do it today, but so don't be like, I don't think it works. I didn't do it today, but it smells so good. I love it. The next thing I have fallen in love with is the K18 dry shampoo. When I got my hair touched up back in May, Heather, who was coloring my hair, recommended to use the K18 dry shampoo. She said that is her favorite dry shampoo, and I've tried a lot of good dry shampoos. I've also tried a lot of bad dry shampoos, and I think the problem is because I have dark hair, if it's not tinted, it tends to show or just looks a little bit like ashy on your hair. And she put the K18 dry shampoo in my hair to like test it out, and it came out like a mist. It was like wet. And I was like, girl, I don't think this is like working. Like this is, I was definitely very skeptical, and it was really good. And I got it during the Sephora sale a couple months ago, and I didn't really like consistently use it until more recently, because I think the process that I've been doing, especially working out and trying to keep my hair looking not disgusting, I will dry shampoo my hair on the second day, which today's the second day, and then it kind of absorbs the sweat and the oils as as I continue to work out. So my hair lasts a little bit longer than it did before, because I feel like before, by the 3rd day, she was done, versus now I think I can kind of get it to the 4th day before it starts looking not great. But so it does extend it by a day or two, and even if it does look kind of gross and I spray it in, it looks decent enough to make an appearance, especially if I'm thinking about like day 6, day 7 hair. Like, it still looks kind of gross, but it doesn't look unbearably gross. And then I have tried 2 new serums this month, which I have actually really liked. The first one is from Glow Recipe. It's the Prickly Pear one. It's kind of to replace the Snail Mucin, which I did try the Snail Mucin a couple years ago, and I feel like it broke me out a little bit. But I did kind of want a little bit more of like a moisturizing, plumping serum in my routine, especially for my daytime routine underneath my makeup. And I've been loving this one. I definitely feel like my skin is a lot less dry. I feel like it makes really big difference. And then in the nighttime, I've been using the 8th Day Rejuvenating Serum, which this is pricey, and I got this gifted. And like, to be honest, if I finish this $200 serum, I don't know that I would go out of my way to repurchase it, because she is pricey. This is probably one of the most expensive skincare items I've ever used. But I do feel like I wake up in the morning, my skin has a lot less texture, it looks more bright, it looks a little bit bouncier, and I definitely feel like I see the difference even overnight. But again, she is pricey. So I want to give that caveat. I don't know that I would repurchase this, because I don't normally purchase such expensive skincare. I feel like max I'll spend on skincare is like $70, $80. Ideally, even with Caudalie, if I can get it in Paris and get it for cheaper, I will. So I will caveat that and say that it is quite expensive, but honestly, it's a really good serum. And then the last one I've been using a lot is Biafine, which I got in Paris at the Paris pharmacy. And this is really good for dry skin, scrapes, burns, cuts, and it's kind of like a more creamy lotion version of Aquaphor or Vaseline. And I love it so much more than those two, because I feel like those two are very like sticky and clumpy. And so this absorbs really fast. It definitely helps speed up the healing process for things. I don't think you can get it here, but I feel like if you know someone who frequently goes to France, you should have no problem. And then in terms of empties, I have 3 empties. I finished yet another one of the Lawless lip gloss. I feel like every month I run through a new one at this point. I absolutely love the Lawless lip glosses. That and like Tower 28 are pretty much my 2 most used lip products. I also finished my Naturium Body Glow body wash, and I feel like my skin does get kind of dry. We have pretty hard water here, and so I feel like I've been using more of a body oil wash that I can like, I still feel like my skin is hydrated, but I don't get that sticky sensation that you get, and you don't want that stickiness, especially when it's 90 degrees outside. So I feel like this is kind of a good in between. I just finished this one. I just got a new one, and I absolutely love it. It's really good for sensitive skin too. And then the last one I technically didn't finish, but I did have to repurchase, is the Duo eyelash glue. It's the blue one. I've been using this for probably 10 years at this point, and for whatever reason, this one kind of like dried up. There was still product inside, but it dried up and I couldn't squeeze any more out, and so I had to buy a new one. Not a big deal. It's like $5. But yeah, and then in terms of jewelry, I have to mention my new pair solitaire, which I coincidentally am not wearing right now. I've been loving wearing this. I got this about a little over a month ago. I got this for my birthday, and I get so many compliments on it. It is absolutely beautiful. I think it stacks really well with my tennis necklace. I also can just wear it by itself, but the only con, and I mentioned this in my everyday jewelry tour that I just posted, it gets very dirty very quickly. And I think it's because of the basket on the back. It's kind of like an open basket, which is nice because it reflects a lot more light and then makes the diamond look a little bit brighter, shines a little bit better. But I think it just gets dirty very easily because sometimes I'm touching it with my hand, or your oils and dirt and sweat just kind of get stuck in the setting, and so it tends to look kind of dirty very quickly. That's really the only con I have to say about it, but otherwise I love this necklace. I think it stacks really well with a lot of different pieces, and she is stunning. And then in terms of miscellaneous items, there's actually 2 Costco items. If you know me or you follow me on Instagram, specifically Instagram, because I feel like I talk about this the most on Instagram, I am a Costco girly. I will go to Costco at least once a week. I have so much fun going to Costco. I go down every aisle. I know what's new. I know what's different. I know if the price has changed. I know that the star means that things are being discontinued. Like, I am a huge Costco girly. And there's 2 new items that I tried. One is this miso cod that I found. It's in the frozen section. And typically when I think about miso cod, I really only eat this at like more expensive Japanese restaurants, to be honest, which like usually if we're eating Japanese food, we go and get sushi. And so we made this a couple times now. I think it's really, really good. Is it as good as like getting it at a restaurant? No, but it's definitely a lot cheaper than getting it at the restaurant as well. You get 5 for I think like $24 maybe. Really good deal. It's not dry. There's no bones. The flavor's there. Honestly, it's a favorite. And then another Costco favorite, which we've actually been eating for a while, but we just finished the bag and we just repurchased it, which is why it clicked with me to add it in this list, is the Costco Kirkland fries. There's a couple other fries brands, but this is relatively new. It comes in a huge bag for like $5 and it's not the most healthy, but I feel like sometimes there's just days you're stressed and craving some fries, and this is perfect. Pop it in the air fryer, 20 minutes, and it's not dry. It's really good. And for $5 for this massive bag, I feel like you can't beat it. The next thing I never really officially talked about, I think, but about 6 months ago, I started wearing contacts, and I don't wear them every day because my vision is not that bad. I think it's negative 1.75 on this eye and negative 1.25 on this eye. So not like terrible vision, but it is nice, especially if I'm going to be out and about all day, to actually be able to see, because I have glasses. I just sometimes choose not to wear them because I don't feel like I need it. Like right now, like I don't need it, right? And so I started wearing contacts, and it made such a huge difference for vacations, for days out, even just doing weddings, because then I can actually see what I'm freaking capturing. It's been a life changer. I don't know why it took me so long to do it, and I don't love wearing glasses. I don't love it sitting on my face. I don't love the little nose piece, and then if I'm wearing foundation, then it makes me break out over there. Just like overall, don't love wearing glasses, and this has been one of my favorite things this year that honestly have like changed my year. And then the last thing I got maybe a month or 2 ago, max 2 months, I got a flash attachment for my Sony camera. So I'm currently filming on my Sony ZV-1 Mark II, and I never really used this camera as a camera to take photos. It's always been my like sit down YouTube video camera, and I started getting a flash attachment because my friend, when we were in Cabo, brought her digital camera, and the flash photos for this digital camera just like ate. And I was like, you know what? I'm inspired. I'm gonna get a flash attachment too. And I started taking photos with a flash attachment, and I feel like it just changes the game so much. It's definitely a learning curve. I have struggled for the last 2 months trying to figure out how to use this camera, how to, you know, adjust the exposure and the shutter speed and like all these things, trying to figure it out. And I feel like a lot of it is trying to just like learn and play with it as you go. But I honestly have had so much fun using the camera, learning how to use the camera, and just like take really nice pictures with the flash attachment. And then in terms of some flops, I do have a couple flops. The first one is Princess Polly dresses. I was so excited about this. I posted a try on video. The first one was really good. I actually really liked the first dress. The second dress, ordered in the same size. I was really excited about this because I was like, I could wear this for every day. I could dress this up. I could dress this down. It's gonna be perfect. And it didn't zip. It was probably like 6 inches away from zipping on my back, which is actually insane because both of the dresses were the same size. So one dress fit perfectly. The other dress did not fit at all. Like I probably, even if I sized up one size, it probably still wouldn't have fit. I probably would have needed at least 2 sizes up, which is actually crazy how inconsistent the sizing is. And that's really what's really frustrating is sometimes when you're buying things online, the sizing just can be so inconsistent. Speaking of clothing, Abercrombie, honestly for me, has been another flop. I used to shop at Abercrombie at least twice a month. I used to have orders coming in. I am a VIP at Abercrombie, and I've been a VIP for probably 5 or 6 years at this point. And honestly, I don't know that I will maintain my VIP status because I just haven't been buying a lot of stuff. The last couple months, I feel like I haven't ordered anything. A lot of the new stuff that they come out with is like NFL NFL based, which like I'm not a sports girly. And I don't know, maybe like other people are like in other regions, but I feel like most of the people that I've talked to about Abercrombie recently, they're also not sports people. So who is buying all this sports merch? You know what I mean? And so I feel like that's kind of taken over for them in terms of their clothing and the new items that they're adding to their collections, which is like they're not adding anything that I'm really interested and excited about anymore. So I haven't really been shopping there. And I feel like honestly, it's kind of a flop for me. I'm not saying the brand is a flop. I'm sure they're doing great. I just feel like it's a flop for me. And then the last two things I'm kind of unsure about. It wasn't a favorite, but it wasn't a flop. I think I just need to like process a little bit more. The first one is my new iPhone 17 Pro. And I don't typically upgrade my phone every year. I used to do every 2, maybe even 3 years. Except this year, because I started doing weddings, I'm doing wedding content creation, I feel like I rely very heavily on the camera zoom on my phone. I also feel like I have to have the top of the top tech when I'm being, you know, picked amongst other content creators. And so it's important now more than ever to have the newest phone. So I typically didn't buy the new phone every year. I don't feel like there really any big differences other than the camera. The front camera for this phone, amazing. Love that you can film horizontally even though your phone is upright like this. Is that going to be beneficial for most people? Probably not. I would say it probably wouldn't be beneficial for me if I wasn't filming on YouTube, to be honest. Maybe if you want to take large group selfies, I could see that being beneficial, but like that feels very far and few in between, to be honest. So I feel like most people do not need this phone. The camera zoom is quite good, but you really only notice the difference between the 16 Pro and the 17 Pro when the zoom is really zoomed in up to like 8x. Like regular 1x zoom kind of looks the same. Even 2x zoom kind of looks the same. If I really wasn't doing weddings, I wouldn't have gotten the new phone. And I'm still a little bit split on whether I like it or not. I think most people don't need it. Even I personally don't feel like I need it, but I also feel like I need it for my business, if that makes sense. And then the last thing I feel like I am so like split on, it wasn't a flop, but it definitely wasn't a favorite either, but it was a very hot moment and I feel like it consumed a lot of my month, is this summer I turned pretty. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, homegirl, you're almost 30. What are you doing watching this teen drama? And I get that. And I just had so many mixed feelings about this show because it's been a fave in the sense that like a group of us girls would watch this show week after week after week and debrief, and like we watch it together, we have snacks, we just have so much fun. But it's been a flop in terms of the actual show and the contents with it. I feel like the finale was just not giving, and I did the audiobooks for the book, so I know that they get married at the end of the books, and I was kind of disappointed to see that there was like no wedding, and she really didn't wait that long between Jeremiah and Conrad. I feel like in the books they kind of spent a little bit more time apart, and so it wasn't my favorite. I know they have a movie. I'm sure the movie's coming out in like 2027, 2028, but yeah, definitely not a favorite, definitely not a flop. She's kind of in that gray area right now, but that sums it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you want to see these every month, every quarter, like how frequently do you guys want to see these? But I do want to do a little bit more kind of favorites and flops just because I feel like I go through a lot of products and sometimes I forget at the end of the year to talk about it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know something that you guys really enjoyed using this past month or what you thought about the Summer I Turned Pretty finale. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll leave another video for you guys here and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!